So, okay, how are you doing?
I'm just fine. How about yourself?
Good, I'm good. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and jump right into it. Why don't you tell me about yourself? I want to know just kind of about you and your story and what kind of background you come from.
Well, I've lived in Waco most of my life, Waco, Texas, and got married about, what is it, 9 years now. And just have a first kid on the way. Looking forward to that. I have about 8 years experience in IT in various areas. Most positions I've had have been about 2 years. I have a little bit of experience in customer service as well. Currently I'm working for a bank as an IT officer, so a lot of unique challenges in that field. I have 30 unique logins or more, which is different than anything else I've had. So I have less users than normal, but more actual needs. So it's kind of a different scenario than I'm used to. But it's been fun and challenging, so that's good. And most of I go to church, have a life group that we that I'm pretty involved in, and you know, personal and work as succinctly as I can get it for you.
Awesome. Okay, so as you know, this job is for an IT director and someone who's going to kind of oversee all of that and with our network engineers and everything like that. So why do you want this job? What is in it for you? Like why would you want a job as an IT director?
Uh, I mean, probably the same reasons that I've wanted to be in a management role the whole time, but kind of have gained the experience to actually merit it at this point, and that's just to be able to kind of make some decisions that you don't have the opportunity to make on your own unless you're in that position. So I've always, felt like I'm a little bit of a control freak, and I'd like to kind of do things my way, and I don't really just want to run other people necessarily, but that's part of the job, and I don't mind that at all. And mentoring and all of that is just part of it, and that's great. But mostly, I just want to set up the network my way, kind of, and run it. So, to be honest,
So you would say that's one of your strengths is kind of is management as a whole and kind of knowing exactly what you want in a system.
yeah, I really like to create solutions for
Hmm.
specific issues. So, like developing programs for not computer programs, but like design or like creating a plan for how to, solve a specific problem, like, you know, device management per se, or like if we need a new firewall, like doing all the research and getting really into that, and then just kind of implementing it at that point, or having even a system administrator implement that if I'm not the one who specifically does it. It's
Hmm.
just uh, figure out the best solution and then
Hmm.
implement it or have others implement it. So,
Awesome. Um, so like you said, you're working at a bank now. So what are the responsibilities of that position?
uh, mostly, I mean, everything honestly from resetting passwords to
Hmm.
developing or setting up wireless at new locations to managing ATMs. I mean, really, it's uh, there's quite a few aspects, honestly, and slash operations, which I've never been that before. So even uh, you know door access for pins and different things like that,
Hmm.
and that as well. So
Okay, awesome. What are you looking for in terms of career development? Like, what's your goal in each job to kind of develop yourself as an employee and as a person, and kind of where do you want to be when it comes to development?
hmm. uh, I'm trying to think because more I see my development in a career more as just kind of taking unique challenges of that position to
Hmm.
kind of like add to what I'm capable of and what I can use in future. So like, uh, I mean, if you go as far back as, I worked at AT&T and 10,
Hmm.
then for 2 years, and you can take the customer service really translated really well into my,
Yeah.
and then from there, learning just kind of what to expect in basic troubleshooting. And then
Hmm.
each time I move positions, I've typically had some unique experiences that I've been able to have translate to others.
All right. Awesome. So you're kind of looking for just more challenges and more
Mm-hmm.
experiences to kind of help develop you as well.
Yeah, and like new
Okay.
solutions that need, or new problems that need solutions that can be addressed with IT solutions.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so out of all of the positions on your resume, I'm looking at network engineer, administrator, specialist, sales rep. Which one of those positions do you think has benefited you the most?
Hmm. Well, honestly, the two that have benefited me the most were probably my first position, just in having to actually get used to just talking to people, and being with people and not talking, or not even talking down to people, because that's not usually with me. It's more that it appears that you're talking down, and
Mm,
you're really just trying to find the level of technology uh, savviness, I guess, uh, without offending or, I mean, just finding that level was the first thing that I felt was
mm,
useful. And then in this position, I've really, um, or in the position I'm currently in, I've had to kind of juggle a whole lot of different roles from, I mean, this is the first position I've had that has an IT audit and a penetration test that we have every quarter. And then we have to address random issues that um, come up. And I mean, our IT audit this time had 30 something pages of, you know, this is good, this is not good kind of stuff. So
right.
it's been the best IT learning, but the best customer service learning was the position before that.
Okay. Awesome. Um, what makes you qualified for this position? I know that you have listed out all of your education and your different positions that you've had, but I want to know what sets you apart as a person from other people that are applying for this job.
Really, just because I've had uh, experience both in customer service just directly that wasn't IT related, and I've managed networks before, in separate in interim roles and in actual just the main my position. I've done training for individuals for new products and different positions. I've managed some people as well, so I really feel like my overall experience is very helpful, and I'm working towards a communications degree, which is something that most IT professionals lack, is
Mm,
communication skills, or at least that's what the leading industry uh, complaint of IT professionals is, that we aren't that friendly or good communicators, and that's something that I've worked very hard to correct. So yeah, I think that's really what sets me apart.
yeah, definitely. Um, describe a project or a work that you're really proud of, and why are you proud of it? Why was it a success?
Uh, One of my favorite things that I did was actually, in my job we had these we had thin clients, which are computers that are really just meant to start up and then remote to another machine, and
Mm,
they were machines, and then we had a closet full of machines that didn't work well because we're running full Windows on not enough hardware. And I kind of used a I used a version of Linux to basically make it a thin client where you couldn't save anything on it, and it did all the same stuff with that old machine. So I had about 20 machines that they just had in the closet for a couple of years. It wouldn't work. for what they needed it for, and then was able to implement that specific solution to a number of users. And that was kind of fun to take hardware that had been abandoned and actually better than the solution we were currently using. That was fun.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Um, what is the largest size network that you've engineered?
Uh, the most users is probably, well, definitely Robinson ISD,
Hmm.
everywhere from primary to high school. So
Okay.
I don't remember how many users. It was at least 1,500 users, at least, if you consider students, because we were one to one with Chromebooks. So
Wow.
yeah.
Awesome. Um, okay, so this is going to kind of tie into um, your customer service background and just how you work with people. I know you said you're working toward a communications degree, which is awesome. But how do you handle working with people who annoy you?
Who annoy me?
Yeah.
Um, try to take the personal out of it as much as possible and be very professional and just address questions with direct answers. And
Mhm.
I tend to use humor as kind of a almost a crutch in uncomfortable situations. So in those situations where they're annoying, I try to avoid humor and just be very professional and just address them as shortly but not meanly as possible. So
Okay, awesome. And one last question. Why did you choose a career as a network engineer or as like an IT? Why did you choose that career?
uh, well, really, because I went to a uh, advisor whenever I was an undergrad the first time, and he did a personality test, and then I was like, I don't like any of that, and I don't like what I'm in currently. So I decided I would, save some money and do a career that I was interested in to start out with, because I could
Hmm.
school and go to school, or work and go to school and pay for school without acquiring any debt to get an associate's and start that. And then if I figured out anything else, go back and do it from there. So that's the main reason.
All right, awesome. Well, those are all the questions I have for you. And we'll be contacting you soon and let you know where we're going to move forward, what we're going to do, like moving forward from here.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming in or